After watching the last video, you might be wondering, what does this frequency list thing mean? What is it used for? A frequency list can be used on a TI84 for a situation where you have a lot of data entries that repeat itself. For example, if we take a look at this, it says 20 students were asked how many hours they work per day. And their responses in hours are as follows, and it gives a bunch of responses. And as you can see, we have some repeats. We have a 5 and another 5 and another 5. A few 6s, I see some 3s and 2s. And what you can do is you can list your data in a frequency table like this. So what the book did was they took all the possible responses they got from the students about how many hours they work per day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they listed the frequency of how many people said they worked 2. So I guess there were 3 people that said they worked 2 hours, and 5 people who said they worked 3 hours, and 3 people who said they worked 4 hours, and 6 people who said they worked 5 hours, and so on and so forth. And so if we were going to do look at some of the statistics about this data set that we have here, we could do the same thing we did before, hit the stat, go over to edit, go to some blank list, and we could actually type it in like this. Let's see, I'm going to type it into list 2, why not? We could do 5 and then 6 and then 3 and then 3 and then 2. Whoops, 2. Or alternatively, what we can do instead is we can use 2 different lists and make a table just like this. So in L2, I'm going to put my data values, my 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in L3, I'm going to put my frequencies. So here, let's see, the data values, I have 2, enter. Let's see, what else? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And so now my L3, I want to say how many people worked 2 hours per day. And there were 3 of them, so I typed the 3 next to the 2. There were 5 people who worked 3 hours a day, so I typed the 5 in there. There were 3 people who worked 4 hours a day, so I typed the 3 in there. 6 people who worked 5 hours a day. 2 people who worked 6 hours a day, and 1 person who worked 7 hours a day. Okay, so now I have this data here and the frequency that each data occurs. And what I can do is I can hit stat, go to one variable stat again after going over to calc, and now my data list, the actual data is in L2, so I'm going to hit the second in L2, and then my frequency list, how much each of those data values occurred, that's in L3. And what I can do now is I can go down to calculate and get the one variable stats again. So you see that frequency list is a shortcut. Instead of having to type 5, 6, 3, 3, 2, 4, instead of having to type in everything multiple times, just to sort of summarize it, only having to type in each data value once and then the frequency next to it a second time.